Hey guys, we're live, but I just thought I'd let Dean see you in for a minute because he's serenading me and DJing in the living room. So before I close the door, I just thought he'd let the mode go in, let a few of you come in first. I know that Amber is over on Facebook and over on Twitter, over on my LinkedIn, all other sort of social media platforms, just literally sharing this out. Someone's come in. I'm live on YouTube at the moment, so I can't see. I really don't know how to deal with all of this stuff. So please bear with me that this is a put out video. I will answer questions in the last sort of 10 minutes. I'm just letting Dean see you in, fill up the vibe, get you all in for the first sort of 3 minutes. Just sort of want to say hello to people. Just let me know you're here, say hello to me, and just literally just say hi so I know who's stalking me, who's watching, who wants to be educated and who wants to be informed. Also, Dean keeps taking his social media down, putting it back up, taking it down. This is the joys of living with somebody who's going from the underground to the overground and keeps getting in his own way and self-sabotages all the bloody time. I love him dearly, but he's really, 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 really good. And we shouldn't be sitting in this one-bedroom flat when he's $1 billion walking man. He really is. So he's dancing with Shiloh at the moment. Just gives me time. Oh, no. He's very, 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 very private. Very private. A very shy and private man. But he's looking after the kids so I can do this. We're just switching over modes. I'm just getting you in. So if you can just say hello, let me know who's here. And then we'll get started and I will explain what today's video is about and why I want everybody who's in their beds, in their negative space of mind, trapped in their diagnoses, trapped in the labels that they've been given, any persecution that they've been given by others, any dogma that they live in. If you can just get into this space and we're going to get ready to go. I'm just going to start closing the door so I can come and say hello to you all and start talking about what we're going to be discussing today. It's the 1st of June, so this month it is Natural Feeding Awareness Month, and I'm going into a whole new space. So this is a wrap up from May Awareness, and I'm just going to let Dean dig it in. He does actually have some social media things out there, but he's building up for his gallery in September. But just for anybody that is watching, there is one gap into this happening in September, and Dean needs big canvases. So if there's anybody out there who can donate any art stuff, then that would be absolutely brilliant. Anyway, we're 3 minutes 30 in, and I'm going to close the door and get on with what this is about. And anyway, I'm going to get on with this. So anyway, hi guys. This has been Ehlers Danlos Syndrome Awareness Month. So over on social media, I have been talking about Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, and literally all the way through the month of May, people who have Ehlers Danlos syndrome and people who work for the support systems and agencies that pretty much obviously support people who have been diagnosed with a condition or going to be diagnosed and struggling with physical challenges that come under the umbrella Ehlers Danlos syndrome. In fact, I come under the umbrella hypermobility syndrome. Now, I should introduce myself, really. I just sort of wanted to give Amber some time to sort of let people know that I was running live. I'm trying to build up to letting you know when I'm going to go live, and I'm backing out of social media to the level that I've been on. Social media has been an outlet for me since sort of 2010, when I first become a single mother with Aaron and Faith, and I was already a single mother with Liam and Daniel. And I found myself in a situation where I was very isolated, but not necessarily isolated as such. I had a lot of people around me, but I didn't have people around me that I felt that I could turn to and ask for help while I was going through a challenge with my condition. So I've got here in front of me, this video is going to go on for 40 minutes. We are now 5 minutes and 20 seconds in. This is going to be an education and informative, and it's also going to tell my family's story and explain why Aaron and Faith were actually taken. Since 2013, I have been a prolific campaigner for Forced Adoption Exposed, which is in relation to Aaron and Faith being taken by Flintshire County Council and forced adopted out, literally against my consent. They were forced from me, and they were placed with another family and signed over by the courts against my consent. And I've had draconian gagging orders on me since July 2013. It is illegal for me to speak about Aaron and Faith. For me to tell you their story. I have been taken for a 2-year committal to prison for breaching this, of which I basically told them tough. I do also have a diagnosis of Asperger's, which also means I have no filters. I'm a truth teller. I see the bigger picture. Some people call us crystal rainbow children. I call us the upgrade, the iPad to the Dell. We just have new systems, see things differently, communicate in a very different way, and have a very different understanding of the world. And, you know, we just see things differently. But with having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it means we have to live differently. It means we have to pace our own bodies. It means we have to live our own ways, really, and run our own race. Now, and that's exactly the same for any other physical condition. So anyway, we're 7 minutes in, so I'm just going to introduce myself properly, and any person that's catching up, unfortunately, doesn't have to go back to the beginning of the video to understand why I'm here, why I'm speaking, why I'm doing this, why I have particular art behind me, and what I stand for, what I represent, why I feel that I have a voice that has something to say, that I feel people need to actually listen to, and why I feel that what I say matters, and why I feel that speaking out is important enough to invade my own to a private life, and why I feel that there are a lot of people around me who don't want me speaking about certain matters and certain things within my own personal life. And I understand, I do. I totally understand this line of private life. So I'm going to discuss that right here, right now. So the UK, and we see under the European Courts of Law, basically say that we as human beings have human rights, and one of those is a right to a private life. So we live in our own home. Dean is playing the music right now, but we live in a block of flats. So where is the line between the respect of the other people within this unit and the respect of the people within this own home, and the space that we live in and the confinements that we live in and the rules and regulations of which we should live by and abide by? We have the council office just literally across the road from us, who set what's called legislation and policies and regulations, okay? Then we have across the road from us the police station. The police station are the people who are here to protect and serve, but they are the people who uphold the laws of Babylon, the courts. So next to the police station, we have the magistrate courts. As I'm talking, this is literally just outside here. So we have the magistrates courts. That is basically a court that takes people who cross the line. So any of the rules and regulations that have been set in stone, in paper, in white papers, in blue papers, in green papers, by what we call our government. So just to let you know, at the moment, if you are watching this, I also represent Step Up Britain. I haven't formally introduced myself because it really doesn't matter who I am or what I'm about. I'm a nobody. I'm just a mum who has a physical condition, who gets really, really annoyed with how people like me are treated. And I just want to, you know, be the best mum I can be, and, you know, the best partner I can be, the best daughter, auntie, cousin, niece, you know, that I can be to my family, and to be understood by my family. And unfortunately, you know, when a family doesn't work together and come together, and people don't support each other within their family units, as we were designed to do, we were all born into our blood family for a reason. You know, if you look at the monarchy that exists before us now, you know, take away the fact that, you know, do you know what? I don't even know our Queen's name. What's our Queen's name? Shit, what's our Queen's name? Somebody help me. I do. I can ask Google. What's the Queen's name? I do know the Queen's name. What's the Queen's name? Anyway, maybe it doesn't matter what the Queen's name is, because just as it doesn't matter what my name is, the Queen is a mum. And she has carried and given birth to, I don't even know, I'm not a royalist really. I thought the wedding was absolutely amazing though. It was really beautiful, but I'm not a royalist. I love Diana. So basically, the Queen, and her name will come, Elizabeth. No, it's not Elizabeth. It'll come to me in a minute. Basically, she's a mum and a nan, and within that family unit, her and her husband are like the glue that keeps that family together and keeps her sons. So that's Philip. I know there's loads more. I don't know who's married to who's what, which one's the bloodline. And I also know the other thing is the Queen actually has her father's name, which was Windsor. And actually she is married to now I should remember this because it's the name of our leisure centre where I do the baby sales. Mountbatten. There you go. So originally our country should be run by the Mountbatten family. So anyway, the reason that I'm talking about this is because family glue stick together. They work together. It used to be, we used to live in society, didn't we, where we had the butchers, the bakers, the candlestick makers. This family was this family, that family was that family. You become a doctor, you become a lawyer, you went to the army, you become a bricklayer, and your family line pretty much sort of worked in that was what your service was to this world and planet. And obviously things have advanced, and people now realise that rather than just trade skills and public service skills, that now obviously people have passions and talents, and even just the smallest skill set. Like take me, I mean, if you see my notebook, you'll see how easy it is to get direct emails of people in government. You just need to send them an email, tell them what you want to do, and they do it. It's like really simple. It's only really the people that are out there fear-mongering people and making people believe that, you know, we're these absolute powerless beings, and that's really stupid. So anyway, here he goes. He's DJing. Let's see what path he takes me on. Where are we going? Right, okay. I'm about to talk to you about MK Ultra. And the battlefield of your mind, and the war on your mind, the war on your hopes and dreams. And it's a spiritual warfare, whether you believe it or not. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that stuff because this is really an EDS awareness. But the reason that I'm talking about this stuff is because I have EDS, it has me, and sometimes we dance. And at the moment, I'm not dancing. And this is really annoying because I live with a professional dancer, professional DJ, professional MC. What else doesn't he do? He can put up shelves, he does his art behind us. There's not much he can't do, really. But Dean also, I'm not going to talk to you about Dean because he's really, really funny about his life, and he's got a book coming out, a documentary coming out. So I can't really release, and I'm so tight because they're just going through all the legal stuff, and I'm sworn to, I don't mind being gagged because I get to see it from the inside, and it's really beautiful to watch it coming together. And and seeing him come from his story as well. So, but anyway, we've got 2 little boys together who also do have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I don't want to jinx them with it, but they're very, very symptomatic. So how are they symptomatic? What is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and how does it affect me? Why am I here talking to you about it? So I've got a little book here. Now, EDS has actually been reclassified since I've had this book. So if the EDS Society do want me to carry on doing this sort of stuff, then I can't afford to buy your products at the moment, and you need to send them to me if you want me to talk about them. So this is the one that I have, which is the management of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So basically EDS stands for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that was 2 people. So a Mr. Ehlers and a Mr. Danlos sat down, ran a load of analysis, did a load of research, and went, hey, we have found a genetic mutation within the body that creates these symptoms. Then all of a sudden, kite mark stamping and probably a rosette and some form of reward. Then, pa-ching, we have what's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And that then becomes a subsection of a list of things that doctors tick off on a box, and you get to go along and they say, hey, can you do, hey, we believe you have EDS. Now, you can take a biopsy to be diagnosed. There you go. So doing my skin is. Okay, here we go. So, this is how stretchy and doughy my skin is. You see, I have no earlobes. Are you ready? Now, the normal reaction I get to this sort of stuff is, the other thing is, if you have a look at the whites here on any person who has EDS, is they're slightly blue. And it's because the skin that covers the eye is a lot more thinner in somebody with EDS, and it's called blue sclerosis. And particularly if somebody has internal organ problems and stuff, you can tell where they're up to by the colours of their eyes. We also have a number of dots around the inside of our eyes, and you can measure whether or not it is causing problems within the cranial side or within the neck structures. And then what they basically do is they measure the space between. They do it sort of. It's like same as eyebrows. So the way you line eyebrows up, they basically look at the symmetrical between your 2 faces, and what they watch for is the face dropping. And then literally, that's just one thing. So they usually take a photograph and they measure you over the space of a few years, and then they are able to tell by the shift inside of your face to whether your cranial is slipping and sliding. So anyway, head down. Within my teeth structures, if you have like right teeth, a lot of my teeth are gone, and if you look at the gums down here, this is a side of the teeth not sort of holding in. And eventually, my mum actually spent £50,000 to have a teeth done or something. But eventually, these will just all sort of like fall out and stuff like that. But I like to hold on to them. I look after them. I got a 4th one up the front. No vampires. I'm not a vampire. But basically, what happens is the gum slides away, and I think it's called Sonincitis. I don't know. It's in the book. You can literally read about it, because basically the collagen structures are in absolutely everything of your genetic design and things like that. It's in my hair, it's in my ears, it's in my eyes, it's in my nose, it's in my mouth, it's in my airways, it's in my fingers. If I show you my fingers here, you can see at my knuckles. Constantly. In fact, my whole body does this every day. Right. So basically, what I call the tertus. There's some really cool rings, and I really want these rings that keep sort of the knuckle bolts in. So basically, the ligaments and tendons. And if I show you it flicking over my elbow, over my ulnar, and then basically this ulnar bone runs all the way down here and down into the elbow. I have forever busting my ulnar bone. Shopping bags, things like that. And then the actual pain in the arse of it is when you've got a shopping bag in it, all right? And if I show you my thumbs, so like my thumbs sort of come out. I'll tell you what, I'll show you an onion. So, all right, I've got a sweet potato, right? So if you were holding a sweet potato, if I'm cutting one, I can't actually get my fingers around it. So that's what my Shay has back here, is for me to be able to cut and hold things. Yeah. So something that's very simple to you is a fucking pain in the ass for me. So if I'm holding a shopping thing, like my wrist here will pull out immediately. I mean, I can show you that's like there's no proper structures in here. I mean, look, there's no proper structures here in my wrist. Exactly the same with my elbow. I mean, what do you want me to do with my arm? I won't pull it out for you, but if you can hear that it's popped in and out. Now this one started going and I'm not happy about this, and it's because I got a new car this week. I only paid £250 for it, and it's got no power steering, so I have literally had to be really hooking it around, and I've actually started to deteriorate my left side of my body, and I've protected this for years and years and years and years, and unfortunately we are now on a downward cycle, and for the longer I drive this car, the more problems this is going to cause. So I'm going to have to change car quite quickly, because I really need my left side, because my right side is already to the point where it could put me back in a wheelchair or something like that. So yeah, heading down. So then we've got into the shoulder structures. So basically, if you have a look at sort of the head structures here and the skeleton that you have with EDS, we don't have the main sort of bolt here that keeps our heads on. So I'm not going to do it because I really do have a really bad headache at the moment, and I get headaches literally running all the way up the back here. I've been trying to push the NHS to let me have an upright MRI scan, because by having an upright, it shows how it was what's called a Chiari malformation, and how it's all sort of dropping down here in the back, and I've got no stability within my neck, and my spine has what's called scoliosis, so it goes around and curves, right? So my pelvis is out, my pelvis tilts. It's a down tilting to the right, it tilts up to the left, and it tilts slightly back and forth, which means then that my knees, in fact, actually, I'm really struggling to keep my knees in at the moment. I might have to go back to braces for a bit. I've just restarted physio to try and strengthen up my legs. So my knees literally move around like the same as my thumb does. Okay. And then, of course, down into the ankles, I get shin splints all the time. I fracture my ankles all the time. I break my toes all the time. My toes do this as well in the same way as my fingers do. The joints within my toes do exactly the same. I could show you. My ankles come out in exactly the same way as my wrists do. In fact, Dean hates it. I asked him to crack my ankles once, and he like nervous as heck. He was like, "No, I'm not touching it anymore." I really wish someone would. I'd love somebody to come in the morning and just go and just crack up my entire body. So literally back up again. Then you obviously got the skin and the veins. And then the other thing is within my feet and within my hands, I get pins and needles all the time. They feel like numb all the time. I've got rubber gloves on all the time. They annoy me all the time. If you imagine somebody with Parkinson's disease who's like this, then I'm doing that sort of internally. You don't see it on the outside. My calves ache quite a lot. My knees, they just shoot, and I get the shooting pain that runs from my knee right up into my hip and then clicking into my hip. I have fractured pelvis. I did that giving birth. I've had permanent on and off fractured pelvis. Subluxed hips. I struggle with the front of my groin. I've got no ligament or tendons within my right side of my groin, and I've got no fluid coming across the top of my hips. Because I have tilted pelvis, I can probably show you slightly. I just slightly stand forward so I'm not exposing myself. If I show you, I can pull my back in or completely pull my back out. So I have no, all across here, I have absolutely no stability of my lower back. And that's why I keep putting my discs out. Lungs, ribs, constant problems with my ribs, especially when I'm pregnant. They constantly push on my ribs. I've had three cracked ribs from birth, and also from babies laying on me while breastfeeding. I struggle with my duodenum and constantly needing to lift up and breathe. The heart, we are pronounced to mitral valve prolapse, which basically means the valves around the heart start pumping the other way and then the heart cuts off. airways. As you can hear, I'm very, very, very croaky. My vocal cord has collapsed yet again. I don't really have time to go in. I'm seeing the physio, and I've just sort of said to the physio, let's just give me an MOT. If surgery is needed, let's get surgery done while Dean's at home. We'll probably push that to September because he's going to be home for the winter. And, you know, if I do some form of stability to maintain it, then let's get proper core, proper fitness thing. I love a core ball. You know, the fitness and health for EDS people is vital, absolutely vital. It's so easy to get caught up in the mountain of pain and achiness and tiredness and fatigue and brain fog. I get brain fog so much, and I have to plan things like quite methodically, and I can't cope with living here is a nightmare. So we get bang, 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 tap, 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 chat, car, bang, bang, bang. So we have music on all day, just sort of like filter it out because it drives us up the wall. And also sort of living in two people's worlds and with the kids. And I love my kids. They're amazing. But they will have to learn to adapt. And also they're going to have to for their own sake as well. So they're going to have to sort of learn, like now with my left shoulder playing up, you know, I can't pick up the way, you know, rounders is out, netball's out, bouncing's out, football's out, sports out, snowboarding's out, skiing's out. Mono skiing's out, windsurfing's out, art's out. Photography, really, as much as I love it, is probably now out because I can't stabilize the camera in my hand long enough. Rally racing is out, horse riding is out, some functions of cooking is out, as you saw earlier, holding. There's a lot of things that I can't do. There really is. There's a lot of things that I'm really passionate about, that I really love, that I can drift off into visualizations on a daily basis. But my physical body either can manage it for a short period of time or can't sustain that, or I can get really excited about something that I'm going to go and do, and then I get out that day and it's just not going to happen, and it doesn't matter what I say and what I do, I just can't get over that mountain. And I think that's when my parents really realized that something was actually wrong, because every time I said and complained about my body, I'd then go and play netball, or I'd go and play football, or I'd do athletics, or I'd go to majorettes, or I'd go to martial arts, or, you know, I would be out playing. And then one day, you know, my friends knocked on the door and I cried and just said, I can't move my knees. And my mum was like, why can't you do this when you're at school, you know, because at least someone's going to do something, because she kept taking me to the doctors and they kept telling her nothing was wrong. I've got about 30 minutes left of this video, so watch it at your will. I hope it's informative, I hope it helps you. But this is a thing of my medical notes, and I don't know if I can go right to them, but basically, okay, there we go. The Lord is on my side. So I have a letter here from the 13th of May, 1990, to a Mr. August for Kelly Avis. That was my my child. Well, actually, I was Kelly Hill when I was first born, which was my mum's name. And my mum and dad got married, and I become Kelly Avis. So to everybody else who wonders, is this Kelly Avis? Yes, it is Kelly Avis. It's also Kelly Wilkinson, Kelly Avis Forrester, Kelly Hill. Yes, we're all one and the same. So my date of birth, 17th of the 5th, 78. This child, nearly 12, for 1 month has been complaining of pain in her left neck. She can produce a lump of manoeuvring counts, ESR, pallbearers are negative. I would normally have left this problem, but she can complain of pain. I would value your advice. I have letters and letters and letters and letters from doctors, GPs, going all the way around the network to, you know, I've got this girl, she's complaining of this, blah, 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 blah. So I just sort of lived with it. I just accepted it. And the thing is, every time I said to somebody, you know, like, my hands are really hurting and like things like that, you know, and if I showed them my knuckles, they go, ugh. And it just sort of started to really upset me, to be honest. I've just tweaked my neck. You know, it really started to upset me, and especially being at school. Because being at school, it's really difficult. You've got to sit on a chair, you've got to sit, you've got to write. And I really struggled with writing. As you can see, obviously, one of the EDS scores is obviously to, you know, can you make it show you? So I really don't have much stability in my fingers. I might even have a pen here. No, I don't. But if I had a pen here, it would show you that I can't actually. So it took a long time for things like those finger grips to come out, but you had to be dyslexic, of which I actually am dyslexic, but I've managed to mask it. I am Asperger's, but I've managed to mask it. I do have EDS, I've managed to mask it. The problem is I have all these things, diagnosis for borderline personality, you know, and I've managed to mask it. But the problem was, and just to sort of continue into my story, this will help them taken. Because obviously when I was campaigning for forced adoption as a whole and not necessarily my story. And there was one particular person out there, my tooth fell out at a thing, and she was going, oh, she doesn't have EDS, blah, blah, blah. And that was actually a professional. So I decided I don't want anything to do with these people. But anyway, my actual real story is EDS. So we got my medical notes, and then also I have a foster care file in the cupboard, and that's basically every time social services have come out to my family and into school, they were always called in by school. It was always school that called them in. I would either have a tear or it would always be attention-seeking behaviour. Kelly is exhibiting attention-seeking behaviour. That was exactly the same when I was asking and begging people for help with sexual boundaries as well. Because one of the things of being so hypermobile, things like that, you get a lot of derogatory comments, you get a lot of sexual innuendos. I'm not an ugly girl. I used to get a lot of comments. I lived in a council environment. You know, I was having to stand up to boys on a daily basis. I was raised in martial arts by my father, so I was constantly the karate kid, and people constantly wanted to go. And I constantly wanted to protect my body, because if you knock my body, it can cause me damage for a day, a week, a month, a year, a lifetime. Well, I don't know. That's the problem, because with the collagen structures, we don't heal in the same way that, say, a normal body, physical body, would reproduce the collagen, and that nets.
Sorry to interrupt you.
There's a really gorgeous man in front of me.
Baby wipes.
In the shop.
Okay, so I've got to buy this one. Alright, okay. She's sorting it on.
He's so fit. Seriously, I don't know how I cope every day. Every time I look at him, he's just like, I'd seriously, my knees melt. If I didn't have EDS, you know, I would, anyway, I won't even talk about that subject, because you've got to be with somebody like Dean who understands your physical body. And the good thing about Dean, with him being a dancer, is he gets it. He understands my physiology. I mean, we mess around. We play fight all the time. I mean, we don't play fight. Me and Dean don't play fight. I mean, we are Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We go to flick the hats off, so we both have to put a hat on. We both got to keep on each other until we can get each other's hats off. I always win, because I always go through his hat. But trying to play fight with somebody who ultimately, you know, is banned from every fighting profession, you know, he's very good for my body. My brother is exactly the same. He play fights with me, and he'll put my arm up, but he knows my range, and he knows, you know, when to sort of submit and let go. But the problem is other people in the world don't. And I could run a marathon if I chose to, but I can't run it in the time that an Olympic athlete could run a marathon, and I'm not going to do it in the time that the chicken in the big suit is going to do it in either. I chose to do a challenge in 2012 because I wanted to get rid of this, and literally for my birthday, May 2012, I decided that I no longer wanted to sit under the disabled label. I decided that this word, let me Google it for you. Hang on, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? If I want to get organised, where's my phone gone? All right, there's my phone. Okay, let's have a look. All right, you can all do it with me. All right, I've got to unlock it, so it's sort of gelling me down a bit, but let's have a look at the word disabled, hey? Let's have a look what disabled means. So, going in now, disabled. Never have Wi-Fi in this place when I want it. Okay, here we go. So basically, the word disabled meaning a person having a physical or mental condition that limits their movement, senses, or activities. Facilities for disabled people, having a disability, wheelchair, paralysed, having a mental disability, learning difficult disability, having learning disabilities, having special needs, offensive, handicapped, physically impaired, crippled, I can't say that word, physically challenged, differently abled, paraplegic, quadriplegic, tetraplegic, monoplegic, hemiplegic, paraplegic. They design computer aids for disabled people, relating to or specifically designed for people with physical or mental disabilities. And you can carry on conditions that make things difficult for them. Okay, now the problem with this is, okay, so take Kelly Cotton going along to her doctor and saying, hey, Mr. Doctor, every time I touch my head like this, it hurts. And the doctor turns around and says, well, don't touch it then. But the reality is, when you touch it, it hurts, and it's not meant to. And that can cause concern because you don't know why it hurts. Now, then it gets to a point where you're getting up every morning and it's becoming a distraction. It's like toothache, like gnawing fucking toothache that isn't going to go away. Just like this in here right now is gnawing me like mad. And I just want to take my head off and crack it and put it back on again. And it gets me narky. And it starts irritating me and it causes me problems with my daily life. It causes me problems when I'm trying to cut something. It causes me problems when I want to just get up and get on with my day. It makes me slower. It drags me down. It sometimes gets me down. Sometimes it annoys the heck out of me. When it's becoming a physical challenge, government have to make a decision. Are you fit for work? Simple as that. Are you fit to be able to carry out a duty? And don't forget, the country used to be around the Industrial Revolution. So all of those jobs that were created were employments that were made for a physical body to be able to do hard labour work. So basically, government come along and said, right, okay, you're unfit for work, therefore you will be on sick. And you're given a small amount of money, and you live on benefits. It was never meant to be a way of life. It was never meant to be a way of life. It was meant to be a bridge. It was meant to support you either when you got sick, or at the end of the day, if you had a child who was born with a condition, that you were able to support that child. Now, at the end of the day, I don't believe that our government should be a person's responsibility to assist or enable me in anything that I need to do. That should be of the role of my parents. They created me. They brought me into this world. They are responsible for me, and they gave birth to a daughter who has this condition, and it's their responsibility to accept that, stop denying that, and stop rejecting their daughter, believing that it's all drama, because they refuse to deal with the emotional baggage and pain that the daughter lives with that they created. So only they are responsible, and it shouldn't be for me to have to turn to our services to ask for help if I have to go into hospital with my children. It is my responsibility to look after my children. I chose to bring them into this world. I am responsible for them. I have given them the condition that I've given them for, and I am responsible for the reasonable adjustments, not even reasonable adjustments. I am responsible for the whole lifestyle adjustments that it takes to raise children with this condition to do things differently. That is my duty, that's my care, and that's my responsibility. However, when I choose for my children or myself to enter into any society, function, group, education system, then I expect every other person to treat us exactly the same. This is not an entitlement, this is a must. It's not about entitlement. Everybody's on this whole entitlement mentality. It's not about must, it's about need, okay? It's about, take Stephen Hawking as a prime example, whether you agree with his work or not. He was a man who was disabled, 100% disabled. You take away that man's equipment, you take away that man's aids, that man is not able to function, or was, God rest his soul, was not able to function without the care and enables of other people. His wife burnt out. He got sick during their time of falling in love. And she was not able to, even though they had children, maintain the fact that he was disappearing into a very different man while she was wanting to build a family life. It takes a massive, big responsibility to be with somebody who does things that other people cannot accept as normal. And that doesn't matter whether somebody has mental health, or whether somebody has a physical condition, or whether somebody just likes to wear a hat that nobody else likes, and you have to walk down the street while they're wearing it. At the end of the day, no person is here to judge or tell somebody whether or not their pain is real or what they are going through is less or worse than any other person. Nobody else has the right to tell you or me that has set us all up to fail and then points the fingers at us when we end up with a world of chavs and kids that, you know, are wanting to fight everybody, and things are a little bit crazy. So anyway, you know, that's basically my way of talking about what's going on. And I've been on here 40 minutes now, and I said Dean said I'd be an hour, I said 40 minutes. So I just sort of wanted to sort of wrap up that basically during the month of May, it's been Ehlers Danlos Syndrome Awareness Month. It's now the 1st of June, but EDS doesn't go away. We can't switch it off. We can't turn it off. We don't get a break from it. We don't get to sit down on the sofa and chill out and go, oh, we get to kick off our EDS today. It doesn't happen like that. In fact, sitting down on the sofa makes us worse and probably won't be able to get up very well. We don't get to go to sleep at night and switch off because our body still hurts through the evenings. We wake up on numerous occasions. Our bladders sometimes leak. We sometimes have to wake up and diarrhea, our bowels explode, IBF. We can't go out very far because we constantly need to be around the toilet, just as Crohn's disease people do, just as people with bowel cancer. We are all here on this planet for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. We all have a plan and purpose here. He's MCing. You can hear him. That's him. There, that's him. Like, seriously, he'll kill me for this. He is the world's greatest dancer. Like, seriously. Just to... Yeah, you've got a sneak peek into my life here. So anyway, when I don't feel like dancing, he still does. I was going to sort of explain my real sort of family story, but let me just tell you that basically, if you have EDS or any condition, you really need supportive people around you. You need people who recognize that there is a gap in between who you are, what you're about, and what you can do. And you need people around you who enable that gap. And this is what the system should be doing. Don't disable us, enable us, okay? Same to our family and friends. And it doesn't matter what condition somebody has. Don't do it yourself too. Don't let them disable you, okay? Oh, no, dance. Okay, I have EDS. It has me, and I feel like dancing. You can't not with Dean around. You know, he's just an absolute upright, happy, bubbly person. But he's very protective of me, so please be warned, people. It's like living with security. Literally, it's like living with security some nights, some days. I dread anybody who comes near his kids with bad hands. He doesn't take very lightly to it. So he's an amazing, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man, but cost him, and even the police know not to go there. So, yeah. Love him so much. He's amazing. He really is. But it takes, you know, he makes me walk every day. But anyway, before I go, I just wanted to just say there's a mother that I want you all to follow if you have EDS. And her name is, okay, it hasn't got her name here. Oh, Deborah Cossack. And she basically talks about connective tissue collagen restoration. And she believes that we can subside our symptoms, and we can ultimately manage this condition through nutrition. I'm a massive, massive believer in EDS for nutrition, in aloe vera juice, in eating for your blood type. Yeah, I'm not here to talk about that right now. I'm just here to wrap up for May Ehlers Danlos Syndrome Awareness Month. Dean is telling me that my 40 minutes now introduces into the radio. I'm just going to let him buzz you up for a bit. Look out for Dean Samuel. Look out for DS23, which is his DJ name. It goes under many aliases, actually. Look out for, obviously, his breathwork, Follow the Love. Yeah, and also I'm switching over soon, just to explain one thing with EDS. Okay, I'm a naturally feeding mother. Not only am I aiming for government to rebrand disabled to enabled, from children's social care to family care, I'm also going for breastfeeding to natural feeding. One of the challenges with EDS when you breastfeed is you produce too much prolactin, and it makes my body a lot blur, and I become like a jingly dangly scarecrow with a floppy hat. It's not worth lifting up car seats and things, because that's what led to Aaron and Faith being taken. I slipped my discs. I had no family support. I had social services in. I had an indicative budget. I had 14 and a half hours a week, once for domestic care, and we flinched it, and I asked for that to be transferred. Rather than that being transferred, I had the paperwork here where the social worker wrote that Ehlers Danlos syndrome is the easiest condition for somebody to claim to have, and basically called me a liar and attention seeker, removed my children. Two of my children left. I still had my two other children. Liam has EDS. Daniel, we don't put any labels on him, but has his. Yeah, he does well. But Aaron and Faith certainly are EDS. Faith 100%. And they're with a family that don't know this condition. So I'm going to be in the EDS world anyway, because ultimately there are two people out there who have two kidnapped children, Aaron and Faith Cotton, also known as Thompson. I don't know what surname they go by now. They were kidnapped from Flintshire County Council. False information presented that I'd been sectioned under the Mental Health Act when I hadn't. Used information from wrongful diagnosis of 22 years of wrongful diagnosis for EDS. If you have a look at an EDS video called 15 to 22, basically we're all the same. We're going through this mad 12 to 50 to 22. Most of us diagnosed around the same time. We need early diagnosis. Even today, I've taken Elijah to the doctors, and I've been refused to see the EDS specialist for his ears because he's not diagnosed. Because he's not diagnosed until he's 5. He's only 21 months, and he needs to see them now. So anyway, I'm open to all of the medical people. I'm here in the EDS world. I'm here to use my experiences to help you guys, but I need to work, so I'm going to be over on naturallyfeeding.com, where I'm producing natural feeding tops, natural feeding information, and creating a mission statement to get government to read, and businesses and people to drop the breast, give them back to the men, and remind yourself that it's natural, and feed as long as your kids want to. It's good for them, and it keeps them well. And I'm going to be feeding mine for as long as I can, because I've got natural antibodies for EDS that milk doesn't have, but it makes me sicker. So please bear with me. I can be sometimes unreliable. I can't always commit to things because I don't always know how my body goes. And if I'm not around people that understand that when this goes, that sometimes I can stop breathing, it puts me in a vulnerable situation. I get a lot of trolling. I don't have the energy and time for it. I'm dealing with my own grief with Faith and Aaron. I'm Dean's new manager for what he's doing. I'm helping him with his gallery. I'm going in full-time appointment for Dean. Every skill and tool that I have for Step Up Britain, Dean is the ultimate client. So I'm going to invest all my time here with Dean. He's my children's dad. He's my partner. I really hope we are getting married in 2020, as we said. Step by step by step by step. I can only take it step by step. I can't make commitments. It's not because I'm a troll. It's not because I work for MI5. I really am a mum. I really do have EDS. Sometimes it has me. I'd love to dance again, but I'm about to go on a whole new journey for EDS soon, and I'm going to be going and joining the team, hopefully, to basically monitor the progression of my symptoms with this new diet. I don't like the word diet, but lifestyle choice, healthy eating, and I'm hoping that it's going to subside my condition so I can get on with my life. I'm stepping back on social media, and me and Dean are stepping forward together through our joint stuff. And yeah, so I have EDS, it has me, and sometimes we dance. And welcome to my YouTube channel. If you want to catch up with the videos that I did through May, then that's over on my page, Kelly Cotton. It's also over on Twitter. But I'm still running Forced Adoption Exposed over there, and we're just getting ready for July for Step Up Britain launch. And yeah, let's don't disable me, guys, enable me. I need your help. We're doing this from a 1-bedroom flat with a car I can barely drive on absolutely zero budget. It's fun, it's good, but you know, we need to lock things into a studio with a load of canvases. I need to get into a book. My laptop's keys have gone. I've got no software on it, and I don't even have a hashtag button on it. So it's a bit difficult to run hashtags without a hashtag button. So if you go over, subscribe onto the channel, there'll be yearly release videos on EDS. FEA has now officially come to an end. July is Families Reunited UK. Step Up Britain is ongoing, but I'm going to be putting more of my time in there. And June, I'm going to be focusing on natural feeding. Trying to write the EDS book, trying to write my book, Forced Adoption Exposed book. People are not as forthcoming with doing the work themselves, and I'm not in a situation to get out to you. And also, Dean keeps any person who is across the threshold away from many kids, because obviously we've come through social services twice. And literally, we got a knock on the door because somebody in this block of flats decided to report me and Dean arguing the other day. After we weren't actually arguing, we were shouting about the loon ball that ran me and the kids over the other day. And the police arrived, and we've now got to go back through social services again. So we really do need to get out of here. We want a lovely farm home, and we want to be out in the peace and quiet. Dean needs a studio, we need art space, we need workshop space, I need an office, the kids need a garden, they need their own bedrooms, and we desperately need our own bedroom because we've got 2 kids in a 1-bedroom flat. Yeah, we need to get on with our lives now. So out with the old, in with the new. Thanks to everybody who has supported me, you know, this last 8 years. Like, I've been on social media now for 8 years. I've been in and out, getting in my own way, getting sabotaged, getting trolled, taking things personally, getting upset, going on a roller coaster, going on tangents, up, down. You know, it's been great, but the Lord blessed me with an amazing husband and 2 beautiful children, and space and time to heal, to have a second chance. And my 2 boys are doing really well. I hear from Faith and Aaron every October, and I'm really hoping now that I know what I'm doing, and when we get into another property, that we're going to, you know, apply for contact and, you know, get back into my family life and back into a bit of a private life, really. So the only reason I wanted to speak out about EDS is because, unfortunately, children with EDS are still going through the mental health units. He's just clocked me, there we go. They're still going through the mental health units. People are still going through the same challenges. The EDS rehabilitation centres are private. It will cost me £350 to see somebody. It's not in the NHS. That makes it very difficult. My medical alone is really expensive because of private physio, which I'm not affording at the moment, nutrition, health, the way I live, you know, what I manage, even what I sit on, the way my taps are, you know, my body works differently to everybody else's. So therefore, everything around me has to work differently too. You know, and I just do the best I can. So anyway, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to go and spend some time with Dean and take some photographs, do some videos, which I'm really looking forward to. I love doing his videos. I desperately need a camera so I can do this properly for him. I really, really want him to have this chance. He is a very, very, very infamous underground person who is about to go overground, and he's been going through his own healing process and journey, and it's just been such a beautiful, pleasurable thing to watch. We have our up and downs, of course we do, as everybody does. And then on to a new chapter. And I shall sign out here. And Hunky Man has come to say, you know what, seriously, I told you.
Maybe you weren't recording me when I was doing my rapping, mate.
We did
that stuff, you know. That's copyrighted, you know.
We
Copyrighted, man.
We did
Okay?
have.
That stuff there was copyrighted, you know.
We did have a little peek, didn't we? We did have a little peek.
Don't go there.
We did.
If you do go there, send a check in the post.
Well, like I said, he's expecting a check. So you did get to hear him. Yeah, you did get to hear him. I'd love to show you him dancing. But his Dean Samuel page has got him messing around last year for the Suffolk Crisis, if you do want to go and have a look. And you see how mad our home is, really, because, you know, he's just the house clown, just keeps everything happy and bubbly, and gets that I can be a right narky cow and a bitch, and I actually have a diagnosis of narcissistic personality traits, and he accepts that, gets on with it. So anyway, I'm going to love and leave you, and have a really good day, and I'll catch up with you next May for EDS Awareness.
Peace.
2019, and hopefully next year after that it will be wedding bells and all of that with this one, so we shall see. If you keep seeing his art around or him popping around, then clearly it's working. If not, then you'll see me back on social media on some feminist anti-men campaign. So take care, goodbye.